Hi, CP Algebra 1. These are page 3, homework worked out. Just a reminder, I won't be here on Friday, so there will be a video. We will have a sub. I'll let them know who's to be that can be on their computer watching the video of the lesson. Mr. Mimak is a really good friend of mine who will be your sub, so please be very well behaved. All right, so let's walk through these. So I'm going to get 2 to the third times 2 to the second. The bases are the 2, so I'm going to add the exponents. So I just wind up with 2 to the 5th. Some of you might multiply that all the way out, so 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 to get 32, but you can leave it as 2 to the 5th. Number 2, we have 2 to the third raised to the second. Well, let's multiply the exponents, so I get 2 to the 6th. And then number 3, we get 3 squared plus 4 squared, which is going to give me 9 plus 16, which gives me 25, because 3 squared is 9 and 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16. Number 4, we have 3 plus 4 in parentheses squared. So make sure you add these together first. So you're going to get 7 squared, which comes out to 49, because 7 times 7 is 49. Number 5, we have negative 6 quantity squared. This means I'm going to go negative 6 times negative 6, which is positive 36. But why number 6, if we look at it, you have negative 6 squared. So this is negative 6 times 6, which is negative 36. So notice the signs are different between those two. Number 7, y to the 5th times y to the 3rd. Just add those exponents, so you get y to the 8th. Number 8, you have x to the 4th times x to the 6th. Like bases, add the exponents, so I get x to the 10th. Number 9, I get c to the 6th times c. Well, c is also to the 1st, so add those together, so I get c to the 7th. Number 10, I get y to the negative 2 times y to the 7th times y to the 3rd. Well, add those up. That gives you 10, and then 10 minus 2 is 8, so I get y to the 8th. Number 11, we have x raised to the 4th raised to the 3rd, so multiply those exponents, so you get x to the 12th. Number 12, you get x to the 4th raised to the 6th. Multiply the exponents because that's power to power, so that's x to the 24th. Number 13, I get y to the negative 2 to the negative 3. Negative times negative is positive. 2 times 3 is 6, so it's just y to the 6th. Number 14, yeah, we can have an exponent as a fraction. If it's a fraction, that means I have to add those exponents. So 1/2 plus 1/3. So let's make that, multiply that by 3 and 3, so that's 3 over 6, plus multiply that by 2 and 2, so that's 2 over 6, so that's 5 to the 6th. So c raised to the 5 to the 6th power. That's a, make sure you ask me if you have questions about that. Number 15, I get 3x to the 4th times 8x to the 6th. So 3 times 8 is 24. Add the exponent, so I get x to the 10th. Number 16, I get negative 3x to the 11th times 4x to the 15th. So negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. Add the exponents, so 11 plus 15 is 26. Number 17, get negative 3x to the 4th times 5x to the negative 6 times 2x to the 7th. So negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. Negative 15 times 2 is negative 30. And then I have x. Let's add the exponents. So 4 minus 6 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus 7 is 5. So 30x to the 5th. Number 18, we get x to the 3rd times 4x to the negative 3 times negative 2x to the 7th. So 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. That's going to give me 0, and then 0 added to 7 is 7, so you're just adding the exponent still. Number 19, I get x to the 2nd, y to the 3rd times x to the 5th, y to the 2nd, that's a 5. So I'm going to add those exponents. That gives me x to the 7th. Add those exponents. That's going to give me y to the 5th. Number 20, I get 5xy times 2x squared y to the 3rd. That's going to give me 10. That's x to the first, so add those. That's going to give me x to the third. That's y to the first. 1 plus 3 is 4. That's it. There's our answer. That's a 4. Now number 21, I get 5x squared times 2x to the 6th. So this means I'm going to bring this here and here. So I get 5 squared, which is going to give me 25, and then x to the 4th, because of power to a power, times 2x to the 6th. So 25 times 2 is going to give me 50. X to the 4th, x to the 6th is x to the 10th. And our last problem, number 22, I get 2x to the 2nd raised to the 3rd times 3x to the 3rd squared. So that comes in here. That's 2 to the 3rd, which is 2 times 2 times 2. That's going to be 8. And then I get x to the 6th, because you multiply those exponents. And then bring that here. That's 3 squared, which is 9. And then multiply those exponents, x to the 6th. 8 times 9 is 72. Add the exponents, x to the 12th. If you had any questions about that, please ask me. I'm happy to help you. Okay, let's go to page 5 of our notebook. We have some more exponent rules that we're going to talk about. Okay, so this is number 2. So if you notice at the top, it has kind of some of the rules. So we're going to explore. So this one, let's think about this. I have 6 x's on top and 4 on bottom. So if you wrote this out, you'd have over this. So if you start canceling, cancel, 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 cancel. So you have xx on top, so x to the squared. So what's taking place here is, because I'm dividing those, you're subtracting the exponents, so it becomes x to the 2nd. Or you can also look at this. You know the game Tug of War, where you're pulling, 2 teams are pulling on a rope? Well, the top's going to win by 2. That's all you have to do. Okay, so let's talk about that. So I have the 2 that's going to stay there. Tug of war with the x's. Who wins, top or bottom? Well, the top wins. Top wins by 3. That's done. This one I can reduce 6 because 3 goes in it, 9. So I get 2 over 3. And let's do a tug of war with the x's. Who wins on the x's? The bottom by how many? 2. Who wins with the y's on tug of war? The top by 2. There's our answer. Number 3, I'm going to reduce these, so I'm going to get 2 over. Let's do a tug of war with the x's. I have x to the first on bottom. Top wins by 1. You can put x or x to the first. It's your choice. Tug of war with the y's. The top wins by 4, because 7 minus 3. And then the z's actually cancel out, so there's my answer right there. Again, if you have any questions about these, please let me know. So this is our new rule. Okay, we're relating this to tug of war. Who wins, top or bottom? Okay, so it means you're subtracting the exponents from each other. Okay, so this is a new property. If I have an exponent raised to the 0, 5 raised to the 0 is just going to give me 1. Okay. So I have a quantity. It's in parentheses. Those parentheses raised to the 0 power. The answer just comes 1. And watch this one. I have x to the 3rd, which is x to the 18th, raised to the 0. So this whole thing, because my outside exponent is a 0, that whole thing comes to 1. So x raised to the 0 power is just equal to 1. Okay, or a number, so if I had like 3 to the 0, that's 1. If I had y to the 0, that's 1. If I had x, y raised to the 0, because that's grouped, that's 1. So those are some extra examples. All right, so now I have a negative exponent. So when I have a negative exponent, it wants to change position. So I'm going to put this over 1 like this. So I want to move 4 to the 2nd down. So the 1 is on top, and 4 to the 2nd is down. Notice it is no longer a negative exponent. Okay, and then 4 squared is the same thing as 4 times 4, so I get 1 over 16. So let's take a look at this one. The only negative exponent is attached to the x. The 3 is going to stay on top. This needs to move locations. It's going to move down. Okay, now let's take a look at our next problem, number 7. Before I do any exponent stuff, I'm just going to move the things that need to move. So y to the third is now going to be on top. Y to the second is now down on bottom. And then we have this. Now we can go ahead and work out the rest of this problem. 5 goes in itself once, goes into 10 twice, so I'm going to get 1 over 2. Tug of war with the x's, they cancel out. Tug of war with the y's, top wins by 1. Okay, y to the first, or you can just keep it as y. Tug of war with the z's, bottom wins by 2. So you can clean this up a little bit, and really the answer should look like this. You could leave it as my original answer, but this is a more accepted one. But if you wrote that as an answer, you have it correct as well. So when you have a negative exponent, it wants to switch locations. If it's on top, or if it's just a number, that means it's also on top, because you can also put it over 1. And that's what you're going to work out on that. So for tomorrow, I would like you to do page 7 and 8. And I think you can get through 1 through 24 all. So take the time in class to work on it. If you have any questions, let me know. If you needed to finish a test that you missed, make sure you come in during an off period so you can work on it. It's okay if I have a class. You're welcome to come in here and make it up. Again, I'll be gone on Friday, so please be good for the sub. Have a nice day.